guys see this? Today was the nicest day this month in the Netherlands, Holland, Amsterdam, Dutchland. Look at this, how bad it is now. It was 30 degrees today, or 85, 90 degrees. And look at the weather now, it's storming. It's about to rain pretty badly. And you know, you may wonder, why am I walking on the street like this? Like, it was sunny an hour or two ago. My girlfriend's walking the dog, something you know you have to do. And this is one of the main reasons why I want to leave the Netherlands, is this fucking weather. That's number one. And number two is racism. Yeah, racism. You guys be like that, racism. Why? Well, that's a long story. But racism and the fact that, so the weather, racism, and the fact that this country is really fucking gangster. And that's the topic of this video. Why is Holland so gangster? And in what way? Well, it is the Narco state of Europe. That's my girlfriend and our dog. It's the Narco state of Europe. And one of the main reasons why it's so gangster is, here, if you use violence or if you get into a fight or things like this, many times nothing happens. Like, I've beat people up because of my job and got arrested like a year later. They came and picked me up at my house, if they pick you up. I've also used violence many times because of my work, and also sometimes when it wasn't work related. And I must say, every time I got off pretty easily, whereas if I was in the United States or Mexico with something similar, I would have got locked up. Especially because I'd be kicking people as hard as I can when I get in fights. And part of the reason why I do that is because the punishment here in the Netherlands is very mild, sometimes non-existent. Like, I know of cases where people have died in street fights and nothing happens to the people that committed the crime or that beat the person up to the point that they died. So I'm not gonna take that risk. Someone punching me or kicking me, or me getting jumped and me losing a fight, potentially dying, and then the other person doesn't even go to jail. Like, no, here in Holland, I'm very careful with fights here. I don't handle them like I did in Mexico. Like in Mexico, the laws are a bit different. There, if you punch someone in the face, you can already have big problems. In Mexico, as long as you beat them up in the body area and legs, you're good. And since they're not that tall there, I'll be using a lot of shots to the body, legs, things like that. So Mexico's way different. But back to the Dutch topic. Here, many times violence is used and nothing happens. I'll give you guys an example of a Spanish guy that came here. A Spanish guy that I met in Spain. He came here on vacation once, you know, kind of a dark guy, black hair, not too tall, a little shorter than me. He got into some kind of argument with a bus driver. The bus driver punched him in the face. Like, he didn't even want to argue with him. He just got punched in the face. And then he didn't even speak that good of English. He felt like he was being discriminated against, which he probably was. When he called the cops and all that, and he told the story to the cops, and the cops were not really interested in helping him much. So that's just one example, you know. Like, if you come here, you get into a fight, you will more than likely, not many consequences will come from it. Whereas in Spain, that was just in Spain. Over there, if you get into a fight over there, the cops will hunt you down. They will look for you. And I've seen people there get beat up by the police. I've seen two guys fighting. Two cops came up. They punched them both in the face. They even got props from the crowd around them because people support the police. And that's the way they handle it in Spain. They'll punch you out first. They'll take you to jail, and they'll ask questions later. And here in Holland, it's so gangster. It's like, another thing about Holland is, like, here a lot of times people who can fight call the shots. Like, if you can street fight and you have a reputation for fighting, people see you like a boss. So here it's like, you're more of a boss when you can fight than when you have money, believe it or not. Here it's that different. Holland is a very weird country when it comes to this shit, you know, because it's just like, and Mexico would never be this way. Like, for example, here, someone who doesn't have nothing going for him, maybe someone who's like half broke, who can really fight, who has a rep for violence, can, for example, intimidate any business owner if he wants to. They can be intimidated by this person, right? Whereas in Mexico, someone who's broke, who just knows how to fight, cannot intimidate business people, like, at all. Like, good luck trying that shit over there. It's very different here. It's gangster in a very, very weird way, in a very street fighty sort of way, I would call it. You know, and these are the reasons why I kind of want to go away. I'm fed up with it. I mean, in the beginning, it was cool to be here, you know, get in fights, get different jobs, get arrested, go to court. Like, it was fun and all that in the beginning, but now it's like I've seen it already. It's enough. Like, I already know how it is, and it's only getting worse as far as like when I first got here, there was a lot more just fighting going on. Now there's a lot of stabbings and a lot of shootings. Like, it's getting worse and worse because it is a narco state. So, you know, like, I live close to the border here, and I'll tell you guys a story. This story is not like, how can I say? This story is not a story that I can for sure say is factual, but I've heard the story from many people in the nightlife. When I was working as a bouncer here in the Centrum, I was told of more than a few stories about how this police officer that worked a lot in the nightlife, when the bars are open, when all the fights are going on, he quit the police force. He worked here for years as a cop. He quit the police force and started his own security company. And word is he had like a lot of doors, and he used to drug deal. Like, all his bouncers were like drug dealing hardcore, and all the clubs and bars that he had a lot of them. And we're right here in the border with Germany, and word is that like a lot of drug dealing goes around in this town, you know. So it's like Holland is a gangster ass city. It's a gangster ass country, I mean. And I want to get out of here. I want to go to Spain, where people are actually afraid of the law, where you're actually safe. Another reason why, and this is a bonus, I want to leave, is because I don't feel safe here. And not just in the sense that I just mentioned, you know, in the sense that, for example, in Spain, the cops, the ambulance, these kind of people, they do their job. Cops, ambulance, the hospitals, they do their jobs. Doctors. And here in Holland, my experience has been that a lot of times these people don't really do their jobs. And what do I mean by that? I've seen ambulance personnel that doesn't even know what they're doing. I've seen cops wait way too long before they actually do their job. You have to pay for your health insurance here, but they don't really, you're not really covered as much as you should be. When in Spain it's like it's free. Health insurance is free. Here, security, like us, we're not allowed to carry anything. You have very limited authority. You know, in Spain, security guards, they have fucking weapons. They have like a mag light, cuffs. Sometimes they even have guns. They really jump in. The police really does their job. The ambulance does their job. The doctors do their job. People have a heart over there. And here, it's a bunch of cold ass motherfuckers. And I'm just done with it, you know. Like, even with for example, with the Israeli-Palestine conflict, a lot of people here don't care, or they're more with the Israeli side. When it's in like Spain, almost everybody's pro-Palestine. I mean, that just goes to show you that the whole mentality there is way, way different. Anyway, so next video, guys. Catch you later.